Greetings and the best of salutations. There will be prayer, power, peace, patience, and prosperity. Share something in this manner, in this way, in regards to dealing with a sense of being. The word I want to use is a burden that I carry is the burden of self-disappointment. Self-disappointment. You cannot be, I know people, I'm not saying you cannot, but people have models that they aspire to be. And their experiences is different from yours. And the reason why I say I carry the burden of disappointment is due to the fact of self-disappointment. That's due to the fact, as I write these things down, it's how I was raised. How I was raised. And I was raised with a decent, respectable family, and even an environment. And even if the word considered to be poverty, if I may use that word, I'm not using light. If people were in poverty based upon where we live, we never even paid it any mind. It wasn't because we were never without. So I did partly grow up in the projects. This is a very touching moment right now. In the projects for about 11 years or so. Then my family moved to what is called the suburbs. Decent, what one would call middle class. I participated in some sports activities and thought I should have stuck with that, because it get to my opening point of carrying the burden of the disappointment. Yes. And there was many opportunities that was available to me that I didn't take a full advantage of. So, but doing so, I have developed a feeling of deep regret, remorse, guilt, because at my age, and if it sends warning to anyone, you need to take advantage of the opportunities that is afforded to you. Because at a certain age, it could be difficult to overcome some things. Not saying that that's not possible, because it is possible. And that comes to your religious faith, your religious belief. But there's a term called regret orientated. So it's all about the orientation. That means I possibly could have been misorientated. And when one is dealing with regret orientation, one tend to focus on what could have been done better. That's in the past rather than what can be done better right now. You know, what could I have done better in the past rather than focusing on what I could do better right now. For me, that's my personal struggle. So I try to work on being better rather than being bitter. And then therefore it deals with my mood swing. You know. The psychologists can call it any, borderline personality disorder, whatever what they want to call it. But I find the balance in several things in which I will give some solutions to carrying the burden of self-disappointment and having regret, regret orientation or regret oriented, So it's all about the oriented and certain teachings in the Quran, Islam, it says out of difficulty comes ease. When there is a storm in the middle of the storm, middle of the center of the storm is ease. So in that English Bible, it talks about the storm is on a boat and it also said, peace be still. So it's about my peace. But then I start dealing with questions of what if. Another automatic distorted thought, in addition to being regret oriented. I ask myself a series of questions, series over and over and over again. Questions. What if something happens if I try this? Or fail to be satisfied, What if? Seems as though being regret, carrying the burden of self-disappointment and regret-oriented an environment becomes an environment of doubt, lack of confidence, low self-esteem, suspicious. Yes. Breeds animosity and distrust. Yes. So this fight or this cause or this challenge of overcoming, carrying the burden of self-disappointment and regret-oriented and asking myself a series of questions of what if. And being misproperly oriented, lacking correct orientations, and overcoming something appeal to my sentiments, which means emotional reasoning, or something may appeal to your sentiments by way of emotional reasoning, dealing with things in unrealistic terms, Yes. But the responsibility in correcting of carrying the burden of self-disappointment, regret-orientated, and what ifs and emotional reasoning, and many others that I can share. Let's deal with those right now. Emotional reasoning was something that just came flow, but solution is whatever it is that happened in the past, just accept what happened. Just accept what happened. Then treat yourself like a friend. 3, recognize your the expectations, however they may be, of yourself. Just recognize it. When you recognize something, you have patience about it. When you have patience, you display gratitude, and doing so, it puts you in a better position to gain competence. Yes. 4, you must distract yourself in a healthy way. Yes, I've learned to do that through my presentations and through my writings. And 6, I learned to adjust, be prepared for the next time, and from after that, just keep on making the adjustments. Reorient it, adjust to new circumstances or positions. So in my books and that which I write, that's all I'm doing. It's just reorientating myself. Yep. Learning new goals, new ways, and how to achieve the goals. Ways to how to approach them. I have a 5-star approach. Progressively, universally, holistically, comprehensively, and conscientiously. These ways I approach, new ways I try to approach when it comes to carrying the burden of self-disappointment, or overcoming the burden of self-disappointment, regret, and what ifs, and as well as emotional reasoning. Yes. So until next time, I hope this may have offered some assistance to someone. And realizing when we deal with feelings of inadequacy, indifferences/differences, grievances, discrepancies, and alienation, remember, accept what happened. Deal with it. Move on. You can't change the past. You have to live in the present. And therefore, project your future. Treat yourself like a friend. Reconcile your differences with yourself before you can reconcile your differences with anyone else. Recognize your expectations, however big or small. Hold yourself in high esteem. There will be no need of low self-esteem if we hold each other in high esteem, or hold yourself in high esteem. Esteem really is an estimation. Count the cost. It means there is going to be some sacrifice, there's going to be some investments, dedication, and commitment that is required. Distract yourself in an unhealthy way, and ask yourself the right questions. If I overlook that one, it means you have to be, it's almost associated with being a critical thinker. Yeah. And when I deal with the questions, I deal with the matter of virtue, the indicators and directives. Yeah. Then adjust for the next time, and the next time after, and the next time after that. Well, I'm just going back and forth with these pages. Thinking that there is something else to be shared, something that I may overlook. Yes, it's coming to my mind. Yes, also dealing with abandonment. You could have been abandoned by a loved one, and you were young and you didn't necessarily know how to express that, and then there was a delay. There becomes a delayed reaction. Just accept what happened. Move on. Even though a person may have not treated you like a friend, but treat yourself like a friend. Yeah, man. Until next time, talk to you.